Hi, I'm Kenny Gamble, and I'm Black in America.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Black in America. Today, I have the wonderful privilege of having a conversation and interviewing the one and only Philly Sound, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kenny Gamble. Hello, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much, man. I'm honored to be here with you today.
Listen, it is a thrill of mine to have you on this show, to have a conversation with you, listening to that, again, that soulful Motown sound and everything that you have done and how you've contributed to music. It is my privilege and honor to be talking with you right now, my friend. So thanks again, all right?
Wonderful. But one thing too, Motown was great and they were mentors of ours, but that Philly sound, I got to get that in your ears, that Philly sound.
Did I say Motown sound?
The Motown sound.
Come on, man. It's the Philly.
Clean it up for you.
Hey, listen, you got to correct me. Get me together. Get me together. Pops, I love it. Philly sound.
No, I think we're straight. If you want to, it's the Philly sound. Motown was our mentor, though, now, believe me.
Exactly. But it's the Philly. I meant to say Philly sound. I got so excited. I'm blending them all together. The Philly sound. I spent some time living in Philadelphia. And so I was actually going to the University of Pennsylvania for a short amount of time before I transferred to Columbia. Yes, sir. So some good times and good memories there. But you've joined us today for this segment that we call Black in America. And I want to actually start there. I've been asking people when we open up these interviews a really broad question, what was it like for you growing up in Black in America? But I want to even unpack that for you just in general and talk to me about when we say, or when people hear, that this is who I am, I'm Maurice Danette and I'm Black in America. What does that mean to you as saying Kenny Gamble being Black in America? Expand on that for me a little bit.
Well, I look at Black as a color. Most people look at it as a color.
Mm-hmm.
And there's dark people and there's light people. And today they're using words like people of color.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, they called us anything but Black.
Mm.
I have seen people fighting when somebody would call them Black when we was going to school.
Yes, sir.
Because African-American people did not want to be associated with Black.
Mm.
When we was going to school, they were more or less thinking that they didn't know who they were. There was no identification for people of color. I will use that. That's a little bit closer. I don't know where they're going after this one is over. But the key of it is that, I think you have different shades of skin,
mm-hmm.
complected, dark complected,
mm-hmm.
And now today I look at Black as being a state of consciousness, not so much as a person's skin color. I look at it as a state of consciousness that Black in America means that at least you know something about the journey that people of color have been through, even to get to this point in American history, because you had all kinds of names that was going around. You had the N-word, you had all of these different descriptions for human beings. We're all human beings. We're one people.
Mm-hmm.
We're one creation. And so I think that we need to find new ways of expressing ourselves. And I think that the Black Lives Matters program that they have going now is a good thing. It's all progress, mm-hmm. if you can take it for progress. But I think that knowledge of self and who we are as a creation is the number one thing that we should be moving towards, is the oneness of humanity.
I love it.
How does humanity understand that when you harm one person, you harm the whole world?
Yes, sir.
So That would be what I would think today. But there were times when we were going to school that we would call each other all kinds of names. You know what I mean? We would never use those words today because they don't fit the so-called black man.
Yes, sir. Where did you grow up at specifically, Kenny?
I grew up in South Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I enjoyed growing up in South Philly. You know, we all went to school together. I didn't know anything other than that, and I thought very much of myself and my brothers and my mother. Our whole community was a beautiful thing to me. I never knew anything else except that. And as a matter of fact, I'll say this here, I didn't even know where Center City was in Philadelphia until I was like a teenager.
Wow.
And I say that because it was only maybe like 5 or 6 blocks away from where I grew up at.
Wow.
And none of us knew where Center City was. And one day we went there for a parade. We went to Center City for a parade. And I couldn't believe all these big buildings that was up there. It's only 6 blocks away from where we lived. And this shows you that if you don't travel, if you don't know where you are, and it's knowledge, education is number one. That's number one. The more you know, that's the thing that I think of today, is that readings, education. You gotta have education as your number one priority.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because we didn't know anybody. We didn't know any better when we were young. Although we did treat each other better than they treat each other today. We were a community that loved each other.
Say more about that, because that's what I was going to ask you. You're saying you were in that 5-block radius, that you didn't go much further than that. Right. And talk to me about that community and how you treat each other. You're saying you treat each other better. Was it a sense of communal living, like as being Black in that area? Like, unpack that for us.
Well, I tell you this, it was like, it was almost like tribes. And I guess it's kind of like that today, but then it was every couple blocks, there was a corner, and this one was called the 16th Street, so-and-so. Or and then you go a couple more blocks and you got the 20th Street, so-and-so, you know what I mean? And they all got their own territories, and we all had a way of living with each other and working with each other, but didn't own any of it. These were our corner. And don't you come around here because this is our corner. And nobody owned anything. They didn't even think of owning, and being a part of the economics, own community, you see. And so once again, you go back to the more you know, the better you are. And education, we never even, Black history is I'm learning things now that it's unbelievable. And in those days, there was absolutely no Black history. And you would think that we were people who just appeared on this planet. But there was a lot for us to learn. And today we're learning it. Being Black in America today, you gotta catch up with all of this stuff. It's just unbelievable.
Wow.
So, so listen, man, hey, watch my corner when you come down there, right? I figured that'd make you laugh. Yeah, I'll make you laugh with that one. Yeah.
You better watch that corner. You better watch it. You better watch it.
So you better walk across the street. Don't come down there.
So it was a sense of community with boundaries. It was clear boundaries within the community.
It was wonderful, and once you get to know everybody get to know each other, and And my brothers, my oldest brother, Charles, he would teach us how to box. You got to know, that's the number one thing. Can you box? You got to be able to protect yourself and your family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's even today, it's like that today. With the gangs,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth and whatever, and a lot of the young African Americans. That's another name that we were given, African Americans, people of color, and you could go a half an hour just trying to find the right description of us as a people. And so I'd rather just say that we are humans. We're all humans, and we're all wonderful people, and it's one humanity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, talk to me about your experience as a human, as being a producer and songwriters in the 70s.
Now we're talking about something. We're talking about music.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's really the most beautiful part of my existence here as a human, is being able to connect with the vibrations of music that we deal with. We deal with it since the beginning, and music. It just appeared to me that music was always in my life, even in the womb of my mother. It seemed to be, because my aunts and uncles used to tell me that I used to, as a little kid, they had Glenn Miller, the Glenn Miller Orchestra. That was my favorite movie. You know what I mean?
Mr.
I used to tell my mother and my aunts and them, I said, when I get old, I said, I'm gonna have a band just like Glenn Miller. And when you don't know what you're talking about, but it turned out to be like that.
Yes, sir.
MFSB turned out to be our orchestra, me and Huff and Tom Bell and all the rest of us. I mean, that was a wonderful experience. And today, I even enjoy it even more today, because I sit back and listen now and say, wow, how in the world did we do all of this music?
Right.
And we had so many wonderful people with us. So so music was an outlet, because those same corners, you know what I mean, that we were talking about late in the evening. Oh man, there was so many groups and people singing. Blue Notes was over here and so-and-so's was over here. And it was just music that kept the community kind of in love with itself, the whole community. I mean, you'd be performing. There wasn't much entertainment in the African-American community. So my brothers and I, we had a group called the Ordells, and we used to sing. People would come around, y'all singing tonight? Come on out here. So we would go out and sing. And even back then, I was writing songs. I used to write songs from my brother. I wrote a song. It was called "A Tender Kiss." Now
Come on, Kenny, give us a little touch of that. Give us a little touch of the tender kiss. Come on, give me a little touch of it.
Hold on. You're making me laugh. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. How did it go? You got to have a bass. Now you're going to have to play the bass part.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. So that's the way it goes. Tender kiss. I wouldn't want to miss. You are the one that I adore.
Come on, man. Come on. You still got it.
You hear that, man?
I heard it.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, so, we would write songs and we love Frankie Lyman.
Yes, Frankie. Why do birds, what is it? Why do fools fall in love?
ABC's of love. Yeah, why do birds sing so glad love is break up there? Why do they fall? Why do fools fall?
Why do fools fall in love? Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a great. In fact, that was a great movie too. They had a movie called
It was. I saw that. It was a very
Al
good movie.
Perry, I think, and a couple of other girls that he had married 3 women or something of that nature.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Frankie Lyman was excellent, and um, and then you had groups like the Moonglows
Mm.
and the and the Dells and God, just so many wonderful. Matter of fact, the Blue Notes was way back there too, because Harold Melvin was the youngest of the Blue Notes
Oh.
back in the 50s. You talk
Okay.
about, so the Blue Notes was an institution, and they played the Apollo, the Uptown, and all those different places. So the answer to your question is that there was so much music, so much dance, and so much activity because we entertain ourselves in the Black community.
I love that. So that's where it started. Literally, you
Right.
would gather on the corners and just jam out right there.
Street corners, just like the young rappers do today. They get on the corner and they be rapping to each other, and it's just wonderful to see how like Biggie Smalls. That's my favorite rapper right there, Biggie Smalls. And
Okay.
I've seen the tapes and stuff on him when he was like young, and he'd be on the corner, and everybody, all the rappers is around him, and it's a great thing,
It is.
unsupervised. You understand? You didn't have a lot of violence and whatever. It was basically who can rap the best or who can sing the best. And then during our day was who could hit the highest note. Groups like Blue Magic and the Intruders and all these guys. It was fantastic.
It was. And the falsettos were so strong back then, man. My goodness.
Yeah, and everybody want to hit that high note.
I love that. So thinking about that now, going from the corners, doing your thing, going into corporate, I looked at your playlist, Kenny, and I had to tell you, you have a number of songs listed by a group from Canton, Ohio, and I'm a proud Ohioan, Buckeye through and through. A bunch of my family's from the OJs, right? And they really started to top the charts after they started working with you and Mr. Huff from Philadelphia International. So what was it like for you working with them, and why did those particular songs speak to you? So first, what was it just like working with the OJs?
Well, the OJs, well, it started out, it was 4 of them when we started working with them. And Bobby Massey and Will is passed on now, God bless him. And Bobby Massey, Eddie Levert, and Walter Williams.
Mm-hmm.
The OJs. Yeah, they were a group that used to come to Philadelphia maybe once a year, go to the Uptown Theater. The Uptown Theater was like the Apollo. Out of that what do you call it, Chitlin Circus?
Yeah, Chitlin Circuit, yeah.
You go to the Apollo, you go to the Uptown, you go through Howard Theater in Washington. And I think they even probably had a theater in Cleveland.
They did.
Yeah, someplace. And then they had a club there called Leo's Casino.
Yes, sir.
You go to. And so there was a disc jockey there, Ed Wright, who had called us and said, man, he said, it's a great group up here, the OJ. So we, Uff and I, we went to Cleveland, and we met with Leo's, because he was their manager.
Oh.
And Leo's Casino. And it was beautiful. It really was nice to meet him. And Eddie Levert had such a unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how we built what we were doing. How unique is a person's voice? Would you know this person out of 100 people? Would you know that this is Little Sonny of the Intruders? Because you hear Little Sonny's voice, and you could tell that voice out of 100 voices. You get Eddie Levert's voice, and not only was he a great singer, but he was a great performer.
Yes, yes.
Great performer. And so that's what we look for. How well, if you get a hit record, then you got to be able to perform that song on stage. You know,
Yes, sir.
so the OJs and Walter Williams, and he had that smooth voice. So that when we wanted to do a love song,
The ballad, yes.
we go get Walter and say, Walt, here's one for you. Yeah. Darling, darling, baby. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Walter, he had a smooth voice. So we had a lot of fun. Buff and I, we had so much fun working together, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Then working with the OJs, and we were prepared.
Mm-hmm.
We were prepared every time we worked with an artist. We prepared for them, and maybe when the OJs came in to record, Huff and I would have maybe 10, 15 songs completed.
Wow. Wow.
You know.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. So talk to me about these songs that you listed: Family Reunion, Ship Ahoy, Rich Get Richer, Love Train, and Give the People What They Want. What about those songs spoke to you?
Well, the Family Reunion, that was, we were working with the National Council of Negro Women.
Okay.
And Dorothy Height.
Yes.
She was the head of it, and we were working with her because they were doing something in reference to families and whatever. So I told Dorothy Height, I said, Dorothy, I said, we need a song for this whole thing, because they were doing seminars, and they had the people doing high blood pressure. They had it was like picnics all over the country. Really beautiful. It really was nice. And it started here in Philadelphia. And we did our first one. We had thousands of people coming out. So Huff and I, we went and we started writing we wrote Family Reunion for that, because we were talking about bringing all the families together.
Love it.
And working together to not only, first thing is to take care of your health, number one. Then you'd be able to have food. We had a lot of sponsors. I learned a lot from Dorothy Height, by the way. And so after that, the Family Reunion, the idea is that you can't have a Thanksgiving dinner and have all your family over, and you don't play Family Reunion.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's every year you would get that boost.
Yep.
And that's how they became. Me personally, I looked at the Family Reunion as a classic.
Total classic. It's a classic in my family. We play it all the time. And so I was like, wow, this is incredible to actually talk to you and understand the history. And Dorothy Height, as you said, was a phenomenal leader.
Right.
Just a force, brilliant and a phenomenal woman. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ship Ahoy. Talk to me about Ship Ahoy.
Well, Ship Ahoy, well, we all know where that comes from a little bit, about slavery and all of that, That's why I say I was just learning about a lot of these things. And the way I could express my amazement, these things was through songs. And so Huff and I, we would write a lot of love songs. We did a lot of love songs, but we also did a lot of message songs that would, like one song we had, Message in the Music. It was a line in Message in the Music would say, understand why you dance. It's in that song. Listen to the Message in the Music when you get an opportunity.
I will.
And so Message in the Music says, and I think that's in the Ship Ahoy album, by the way.
Okay.
We got a message in the music, we got a message in our song. So come along and sing along. That's what it's saying. And then it says, we're going to talk about all the things that's been going down. It says, get your information from this means of communication. Talk about through the songs.
Yes.
Get this information from this means of communication. And then we got a message in the music. So the songs, you notice when you go to a concert or something, man, the whole audience is singing these songs.
That's right.
And so when you're singing them songs like Love Train and Message in the Music and what's that other song you just asked me about?
Well, get richer, rich get richer, and give the people what they want.
Right. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, you know, and because that really is what's happening. That's what's going on. The rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer because the so-called poor. Now, what does that mean when you say you're poor? Does that mean that you haven't had anything to eat, or that you don't have any hope, or do you have a way of getting out of this so-called mess that you're in? And the only way to get out of that mess is to be able to learn. You got to be able to understand why you're in that situation. So the Rich Get Richer was a song that kind of spoke to that situation where people, I mean, you make a little money, man, they take all your money in taxes, man.
all of it. All
the loopholes and all of it. So, you know, it's a learning process.
Yes. So what I've discovered with you, which is powerful. So you use music for a couple of reasons, right? It was, first of all, it was your outlet, right? It was your artistic outlet to express yourself on the street corners, to build community, right? It was your entertainment. But then as you got older and got into the world of your business of music, it was your opportunity to express what you had learned, to convey what you had been learning through your music, right?
That's true. That's very, very true. And I think you hit it right on the head, because that's what we were doing with the things that we used to talk about all the time. Huff and I, we would talk about like the day that we wrote I Love Music, you know, with the OJs. The OJs, by the way, were our message guys, you know.
Yes.
They used to tell me all the time, man, I don't want to do no more message songs. Give me them love songs. And so give me one of them songs you gave to Teddy Pendergrass. So we used to have a little, Eddie Levert used to say that, by the way, all the time.
Got it.
But those songs to me were the ones that people really gravitated to.
They were. Love Train. Come on, everybody knows Love Train, right?
Was really a song that was inspirational to people all over the world. You notice that's how we opened it up. People all over the world joined. So we was reaching out to the whole world. You know?
Exactly.
And it really happened like that. And then the other one that we used that same thing on, that people all over the world, was the Soul Train theme.
Yes.
We use that on both of them songs, right? And then we used to repeat things, and it really worked. It was clever how we did it, and then we would take songs like "I'm Gonna Make You Love Me," the Supremes, right? So, man,
I'm gonna make you love me. That's the one, right?
You sound good, man. Put you in our group.
I'm an official. Listen, I'm gonna hold you to that. On this day, at this time, at 3:09 p.m., I've been drafted in, man, by the one and only Kenny Gamble.
I'm gonna put you in there, but it was a great thing to be able to work with the OJs, because they could really sing.
Yes.
So Huff and I, we could really stretch them. You know what I mean?
Right.
We always stretch Eddie and Walter, and we could do variety of things with them. They weren't limited to one or two different styles of music. They could do it all.
Exactly.
So that Love Train, if you listen to the lyrics, the music, the groove was great. You know what I mean? A good dance groove.
Absolutely.
Kind of like brought disco music in. You know what I mean? Because we were famous for that sock cymbal sound, which we got. You know, with that sock cymbal, that was the disco sound, was that sock cymbal. And it
Okay.
still is. I mean, because discos and the clubs are still happening now. They're breaking records, and so we were happy to just to be able to buy to buy a little time for ourselves, man, to get in there and put a couple songs that had some meaning in there.
You did. You did. What about this? Give the people what they want. Where'd that come from?
Wow, that came from looking at the whole election process, where it used to be a time where there was nothing but Caucasian mayors and governors and everything, whatever, So not really into politics that heavy, but then it started to be nothing but African Americans. There was the mayor of Cleveland. I think he was one of the first ones in Cleveland.
He was of a large city. I believe the first Black mayor was actually in my hometown of Springfield, Ohio. Mr. Henry, his last name. I believe it was Robert C. Henry.
Right. And so that's been a long time since they've been having African-American politicians and whatever. And so that song there was like we were speaking to the politicians.
Wow.
You got to give the people what they want.
Okay.
And then when you start to listen to the lyrics and to the songs, these songs have been around for years now. You talk about give the people what they want. That song been around, goodness gracious, since the 70s. Been early 70s when some of these songs, of course. They said, what do the people want though? The people want, man, they want money. That's what they want. They want money, they want better schools, they want all of those things that you can do to help develop the human being.
That's right.
That's
right.
So that's where that song comes from. Is that and subliminally, people they hear those songs and then those songs stay in your head.
Yes,
they stay in your head all the time. You find yourself, and then you find it's on the radio and it's over here. It's everywhere. It's part of the whole atmosphere now.
It is, Kenny. This is what's so amazing about every song we just listed, especially "Give the People What They Want," "Love Train," "Rich Getting Rich." You wrote that song, "Give the People What They Want" in the 70s, right? But that song is so relevant in 2021, right now.
Right now, which is a blessing for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I'm really thankful. You know what I mean? Because we've been able to express ourselves and express ourselves in a good way.
Yes.
So that you could educate our community. We could be proud of the music, and it's like going back to the Moon Glows and the Flamingos when I was young, and those groups were fantastic. Me and my wife, sometimes we just sit and listen to that oldies and old music, and man, we be grooving, man. We be
grooving, baby. Listen, that's it. Now, you were not political, as you said, right? You were more about the groove and speaking a message, but you did write, you and Mr. Huff wrote a song called "Am I Black Enough for You?"
Right.
And this caused, from what I did my research, some backlash from white folks at the time, from what I understood. So talk to me about that song, because you were more about the groove and the message, but this time you're like, am I Black enough for you?
Right. Well, that's when this little tag about Black people was just starting to happen, but Billy Paul had recorded Me and Mrs. Jones.
Yeah. Oh, we got a thing going on, man.
Big one. That was a big
huge.
So Billy Paul. So what happened is when the album came out, all of the disc jockeys across the country, we had a great relationship with disc jockeys, they started playing "Am I Black Enough for You?" because that was in that album. So they started playing it, and a lot of people were saying, and a lot of people kept saying, well, why would you put that record out? I said, I didn't put it out. You know what I mean? I said, the disc jockeys, everybody picked it because of what the song was saying. Talking about, am I Black enough for you? Plus, the next time you listen to that intro that my partner Huff put on there, man. He put an intro on that song. It's a harpsichord that he was playing. Man, it's fantastic, man. I said, Huff, I bet you can't play that again. It was one of those things where you got a great um, you got an unbelievable thought because everybody was talking about black power and black this, black that. So what is black? What do you mean? Am I black enough for you? But because I got brown eyes, I got kind of like brown hair. You understand? Is that black enough for you, or what do I have to do to be black enough for you? Bottom line of it is, in my thought, is that that song was saying like you're gonna move on up one by one, ain't gonna stop until the work is done. Am I black enough for you? Is that black enough for you? Get the work done. Get out of here and build. Build our communities. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking so much. You see, and get it done. That's what it's all about. You know, get it done. Stop talking. Stop talking so much. Take your money, put your money together as a group, as a people, and do for yourself. Do for yourself, like the messengers say. The messengers say, do for self.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's it. You know, don't stop begging people. Stop begging people to do stuff for you and whatever, and do stuff for yourself. Do for self.
That's right. Period. Dude, let's get together and do for self. That's it.
Get it done. Get it done, man, because we can do it. We done did all. If you say we're the ones that built the pyramids and we did this and we did all, then what happened?
That's right. That's right.
Let's build this thing. Let's build it and work and be proud of ourselves.
I love it. I love it. And what you're talking about.
That's what the music is saying.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And you say, for example, and it just wasn't gambling Huff. Look at the guy, and when I say about the building, look at Dexter Wanzel. I don't know whether or not you know Dexter Wanzel or not.
No, sir. I don't know that name.
Well, check him out when you get a chance, because he has an album we put out called Nights Over Egypt, the Jones Girls. I don't know if you ever heard of the Jones Girls. But all these albums and these records and all of this stuff, it's beautiful music, believe me. We're not just gambling Huff. It was a whole group of us. We created a family of people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People. Tom Bell, the Delphonics, you understand? All of these groups and all of these people that we were dealing with, they had great music. When you mention these songs have, every one of them have meaning.
Yes, sir.
They have meaning, you know, but go ahead.
No, you're good. This is exactly right. And you just talked about a part of the family, Harold, Melvin, and the Blue Notes, right? That was a part of the family. And they were on the corners, you said, and you gave a little bit of history of how Melvin was the youngest one. So there's a song that says, to be free, to be who we are, right? And it has to do with this freedom of being who you are. I want you to talk to me about that, right? Like, where'd that song come from? But what artists or songwriters today inspire you with their freedom and creativity as well? You talked about Biggie being your favorite rapper. He's gone. But give us the origin of that song, and then who do you think inspires you today?
Well, we had Philly International, and this is our 50th anniversary here now too that we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
It was like a school. It was like a school, because that song for Harold Melvin and Teddy Pendergrass, "To Be Free, to Be Who You Are," was written by McFadden and Whitehead. And so not only did we have McFadden and Whitehead, we had Bunny Sigler, we had Tom Bell, Linda Creed, we had Vinnie Barrett, she wrote "Love Won't Let Me Wait." I mean, so when you start to look through our whole thing, we had teams of people working together. Young people that came to our offices, and they were able to learn how to structure their songs, because Huff and I, we used to take the time to show them what we had learned. So when you think of McFadden and Whitehead, who probably, well, me and Huff had to watch them jokers because they were good, man. McFadden, Whitehead. You know, because when you think of, you know, Backstabbers.
What they do, yeah.
They wrote that, but McFadden and Whitehead. They wrote "Wake Up Everybody." Come on, man. These guys were fantastic, you know.
Okay.
So we showed them what we knew, You see, because you always got to have somebody to come and take your place.
That's right.
So McFadden and Whitehead was really, I think, our main. They always wanted to be singers. You know, I didn't discourage them, but I had started out wanting to be a singer myself.
Okay.
But then I figured it out later on. I'm not a singer. You see, that I write songs better. And I was telling them my experiences, and I told him, I said, I don't know if you're gonna like being a singer. You know what I mean? I said, because you got a gift. You got a gift as a songwriter. You know, I used to tell Gene McFadden a lot of times. He said, yeah, but we want to get out there on the stage. They want to get out on the stage, man. Get the girls scream down. And that's what they wanted.
That's right. They want the love. They wanted that instant gratification from that stage.
Yeah, they wanted, but it all worked out beautiful, you know. And you can't change yesterday. All you can do is you can learn from it, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have another song on there, Ooh Child, has always been a source of comfort and hope, right? Black folks have always found hope in even the most impossible of situations. Right. So with that song, where did that come from? And what gives you hope in these days, Kenny?
Well, you know, that Ooh Child, that was a song that we that Bobby Martin and Dee Dee Sharp, they did that song. Mm-hmm. And Dee Dee is a great singer, by the way. And when she did that song was written by Curtis Mayfield.
Oh, Curtis, maybe, yes.
Curtis Mayfield. And ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
Yes, sir.
Because things are rough.
Right.
Rough, but it's rough if you make it be rough. And you got to realize, I mean, I know sometimes it's hard, you know what I mean? But what I do is that I just close my eyes sometimes and just give thanks. I just give thanks and say, man, this is the master's world. This is his world, and there's nothing I can do.
Yes, sir.
One way in and one way out.
That's it.
That's it. And so do what you're supposed to do while you're here, because everybody here is here for a reason. And so go ahead and do what you got to do. Stop complaining and have some fun. Because the master wouldn't do anything to us that's going to hurt us or whatever. This is unbelievable. You see, we're only in one dimension now. We done been in 3-4 dimensions already. Now we're in this dimension, and we'll be leaving this dimension one day. And so do as much good as you can do, right? You know, especially if you're in position to do something. If you're in position to do something, you have no excuse.
Wow.
You have no excuse. And you got to keep on looking at yourself and always tell yourself, I'm not satisfied with what I'm doing. I can do more. Do more and do more. So that Ooh Child, that was great. That was the 5 Stair Steps who did that in the beginning. You remember them?
I don't remember that group. No, sir.
So I'm throwing these jewels at you, man.
I know. I'm catching. I'm taking notes, man. Yeah, I've never heard of them.
5 Stair Steps were like the Jackson 5. Yeah, they were great. You know, as a matter of fact, there was a whole family of them. 5 boys and 3 girls, and they did great.
What was one of their hits, Kenny?
Ooh Child. Ooh Child was one of their big
That was their thing.
That was their song. And
okay.
they had another one. I can't think of it at this moment, but Ooh Child is a song that we decided to record on Dee Dee.
Got it.
She did a great job on it. You know?
Got you. You also have a song on here, and I want to know the origin of this. Talk to me about, you know, why you wrote this and the campaign of work you've done since this in your neighborhood, South Philly. But let's clean up the ghetto.
Oh yeah, that's a big job, because see, you know, the other thing I found out that the ghetto is a mental condition. You see, because just like black is you can't describe black. I mean, it's a condition, a mental condition. When you talk about the ghetto, ghetto is we were messing around in the studio one day, me, Huff, and a friend of ours, I think Kerry, Hippie was his name. So we were talking about the ghetto and the ghetto's our home and whatever. Clean up the ghetto, man. You know, at least you can sweep down the pavement in front of your house or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It don't even make sense for our community to be with all the trash and whatever. So we had Lou Rawls, and Lou Rawls, he started it off when we got it in the studio. I'm telling you something, it was hard to get that track. That track was hard to cut.
Wow.
Because the beat was like, it was like an upbeat on it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Started working on it. Boom, 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 boom. Well, that's the way it was going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had a nice groove to it. And so once we got that groove, we put Lou Rawls on it first.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lou was saying, we was in New York and we were coming back to Philly, but there was a strike in New York with the trash men and everything. And there was so much trash all over the streets everywhere. So Lou, we went right into the studio and Lou put that, he said, you know, I was right. He was a rapper himself, isn't he, Lou Rawls, you know? And he's a rhythm and blues rapper. But Lou started talking about the condition of the community and how that's where the rats and the roaches, that's where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
They come from because you're walking down the street, you eat the bag of potato chips, and you throw the bag of potato. You finish eating, but you throw the bag on the street. You eating walking down the street, and you're eating chicken wings. And so you eat the chicken wings, and then you throw the bones away. See, that's how it starts. And then you wonder why you got all these mice and these rats and all of these animals in our community, because it's food there.
Right.
There's food there. And so if you had like a community patrol or something of that nature that would go around and clean up our communities. Like you ever notice the Chinese community when they get up early in the morning, they go out there and they sweep up and clean up and so forth, whatever. That's what we need. We need that. We need to be able to develop good habits, good work habits. And cleaning up behind yourself is a must. You must clean up. You know what I mean? You must clean up your community, clean up your house, clean up all of these things, and you would see, and I would see, and all of us would see that it becomes generational.
That's right.
It becomes generational because your children do what you do. They watch you.
That's right.
And so I think that it's going to get better, but you got to educate our community more about good habits, and our communities cleaning up the ghetto. Let me put it like that.
That's right. That's right. It's the mindset too. Cleaning up your mindset. That makes so much sense.
It's a mental condition.
Mental condition. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more question for you because I know I've kept you, but I want to ask you another question about Black Music Month, you know, and the significance and your major role in Black Music Month, correct?
Yeah, I helped out, you know, and Black Music Month started when we were at one of the conventions of an organization. It was called NATRA. NATRA was a Black organization called the National Association of TV and Radio Announcers. And this is like when we first this is like in the 60s. And we used to go there, and I thought it was beautiful because you had disc jockeys from all over the country, and you know, you were able to sit down and talk to them and get your records played. And the country music artists, they had October as Country Music Month.
Okay.
I think they still do that, if I'm not mistaken. And so I asked a couple of people, friends of mine, and I said, well, why don't we have a Black Music Month? Because what it does, it stimulates marketing and merchandising and promotion
Right.
of everybody's music.
That's
You
right.
know, everybody, Black music, you know what I'm saying? And so we were with CBS at the time, and I talked to the people who were in charge there. I said, look, I said, we want to do the Black music month, just like the country music people.
Mm.
Said, fine, let's do it. And what it did was it increased sales.
Wow.
And so it's been, how many years has it been now? It's been, God, it's got to be 40, 50 years, almost.
Incredible.
Yes, so they're still doing it, and it's a good time. Radio stations are involved in it. And
Yeah.
it's become the industry, part of the industry.
Correct. And it's in June. What made you pick the month of June?
Nothing special. It just was June. I think there was some conversation that June was a good month for Black music because kids were getting out of school and colleges was, you know, whatever. But we had disc jockeys and we had a guy named Ed Wright, who was the head of Natra. He was the head of the Black disc jockeys. And so we worked together, and we were able to bring it to the point where the whole industry worked. And we also worked with the Jimmy Carter administration.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Carter was very because he's the one that helped them the country artists with Country Music Month.
Mm-hmm.
So Clarence Avant, he helped us. He got in touch with Jimmy Carter. And Clarence Avant was a tremendous help to us. And once we were able to get that Black Music Month, and we had all of the rhythm and blues disc jockeys. We had all of the artists. Barry White was there. We had Frankie Crocker. I mean, we had so many people out there at that White House where it was beautiful, man.
I love it. I love that.
Great. So all of that stuff happened and still happening. And then there was an organization that came up called IM, the International Association of African American Music. They were able to take Black Music Month, Deanna Williams and Sheila Ferguson. They were able, not Sheila Eldridge, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And they were able to go to Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton signed it in as a national holiday. So,
I love it. Look at that.
It worked good. You know what I mean? It worked real good.
It worked out brilliantly. Listen here, Kenny, you have been a joy to talk to. I thank you for your time, your insight, singing with me. I'm an honorary member. And again, the Philly sound, man, that Philly sound that just continues to have all of us around the globe moving and grooving. Thank you for sharing your gift and your talent with the world, for giving of your time today. One of the things, Kenny, that I've noticed that your songs are a rich balance of social commentary, but also joy and fun. They just have a good groove, man. And so ending on Black joy, you know what I mean? And so ending with that.
One thing I want to say before we go.
Yeah, of course.
I know that it works when you give back to your community. So whoever is out there, especially young artists and whatever, no matter where you live, you know, work with your community, because we were able to build houses. We were able to help in education. We're doing all these things now that as much help as you can give your community, the better it's going to be.
Yep.
You know, so I just think it's a wonderful thing that we have our whole family. We got my wife, my son, my nephews, everybody, trying to keep everybody's minds focused on doing the right thing. That's all it is. So just remember, do for self.
That's right. Get up and do something. Educate yourself. I'm glad you did that, because I was leading up to give you the last word. That was it. So you took it already. That's what you want to leave us with. That's it.
All right. Whatever. Hey, I'm very glad to have been here today. You know.
Thank you, sir.
And And I appreciate working with you too, brother. It's very nice.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you so much for your time, my friend. Family, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that episode as much as I did. Now remember to hit the follow or subscribe button to see every episode when they come out. Until next time, keep on trucking, baby.